What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Phil from Walmart. How you doing? Hey, it's Sunday night still. Yes, it is still Sunday night. I started my day up at Biggs Junction and went to Hood River, Oregon, delivered my load there, and then scurried over to Redmond, Oregon. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about tonight is the direction I went to get there, right? So this is really for the newer drivers out there that, maybe aren't as familiar with certain things, right? Such as winter weather driving. Now, the GPS called for me to go up 35, Highway 35, and that takes you right along the edge of Mount Hood, basically. And then you transfer to Highway 26, take that to 97 into Madras, Oregon. Okay? Now, 35 and parts of 26 can get a little tricky during the winter, right? And there's a lot of snow in that area. For the most part today, it was good. The road was clear mostly of any ice or snow, mostly. There was some patches and there was some residual ice and slush in between, like the tire tracks, right? Or in between the lanes, one going one direction, one going the other. Now, there's speed limits, and I know you want to go the speed limit, but when there's ice on the ground that's maybe in the middle of the lane or to the edges of the lane, and you just got a pathway that you need to go through, I think you need to slow it down. This is my suggestion. Slow it down. You do not need to go the speed limit. And if cars are behind you, they're behind you. Okay? You need to first take care of yourself. Now, you got to make the decision whether you're going to drive in it or not drive in it. That's step one. Step two is you made the decision to drive in it or on it. You've got to control your speed and avoid jerky moves. So as I'm going, even though maybe there's no ice, I'm looking at the temperature inside the truck as well, or outside the truck. Let me put the outside temperature. I was looking at my gauge on my dash, and I'm seeing it's 28 degrees outside, 29 degrees outside. While it might not look like there is ice on the ground, there's a thing called black ice. And if you've never driven in winter weather, black ice is basically a clear sheet of ice that's formed over the top of the blacktop. And it's very hard to tell that it's there sometimes. Sometimes you can get the glare of the sun coming down on it through the trees, but other times not so much, especially if you're driving through there and it's dark out. Later in the day, later in the evening, early morning, when the sun's not up yet, but you are. And so you've got to be very careful with what you're doing. And what I look for is when I'm going over what looks like water, maybe on the ground, I look in my mirror to see if there's any spray from the tracks going over with my tires. If there's no spray, there's a good chance that there is ice down there instead of water. And you've got to really take it easy. Where are you going to see it the most? Like going through the mountains like I did today is on the shaded sides of the hill, right? So where the sun has been beaten down on the ground most of the day, it's gonna be nice and dry, or closer to dry, or wet, right? Wet meaning spray. But if you're into the curves and it's in the shadows of the trees and stuff like that, chances are that's going to be ice. And again, you need to reduce the speed. Idea of the game is to get through there without sliding all over the place. And slow and steady wins this race. And that's what I did today, right? There's spots that were icier. I just slowed down. Did I need to put on my chains? No. I didn't feel it. I didn't slide at all today, which is good. Some drivers, feel it. They could see it. The trailer sliding out. You've got to know when to get off the road and not take that road. I made the educated guess that it was going to be okay to go that way today without having to put chains on. Now, during a really winter storm, I might not choose to go that way. Or I would have put on my chains, one way or the other. The problem with where I was off of I-84, right on the Columbia River Gorge, is you get off the off-ramp and then you immediately have to climb a grade. And if that grade is icy, it's going to be very difficult to get up that grade. And then once you're up it, obviously you get going and it keeps going and going and going upward. It levels out a little bit, but it's still, instead of being like this, it levels out like that. But knowing when not to take a road because of winter weather is the other part of it, right? I don't think I would take that way if I didn't think that the road was going to be clear. Just simply because of the grade that I'd have to go up at the initial part, unless I could see for sure that that grade is clear. And the only problem with that is coming from the Hood River store, you get off and you immediately hang a U-turn basically to start going up it. And that's when you get your first glance at it. So again, I wouldn't have even tried it if it was winter weather because I just don't know the road that well. I would have gone down to Biggs Junction and then taken 97 up, straight up from there. But there's parts of 97 that are bad, real bad. And I've been on that during the winter. So you got to be careful at all times. That was my little tidbit for today. Stay tuned for more. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon.